Hi there, welcome to today's video. Today we're looking at this watercolour set half pans by Mei Liang, the Chinese brand I was sent to try out, and yeah, gratefully accepted their offer. Trying them out, I thought they'd make quite a nice set for sketching outdoors. A nice metal box, come with a variety of little accessories and extras, like some watercolour paper, synthetic sponge, which I probably wouldn't use myself, pen, which is quite useful, a hard grade pencil, and this nice little brush, quite a good point on it, nice shape at the end as well, which is very useful. And there's lots of colours, probably too many for me. I like a slightly more limited palette, particularly watercolours when I'm out sketching, but I thought I'd give them a go. And that's the set. Very nice when they come on new, wrapped in paper as well. Only thing is, I found it quite tricky, well, quite time consuming anyway, to take all the paper wrappers off each colour, each half pan. And then you sort of, yeah, so the best way to probably do it is to take them all out of the little tray, and then unwrap them and put them back into an order that I like. But I wanted to, keep them in the order that they were sent in, so you could see how they came and how they could be used like that. And there's a little chart telling you about your light fast properties and how the transparent colours and opaque colours that come. And all brands tend to do that. And yeah, that paper took quite a while to take off. Imagine there's all those colours, they've all got to be unwrapped. And sometimes the odd one stuck to it, but nothing too major. And finally we got there, and that's what they look like. And we thought we'd let's take them outside and try a bit of sketching with Basil in attendance. So I went off to Godolphin, and this is the little place I found just underneath Godolphin Hill, and set up and used the Cardi watercolour paper sketchbook, which was quite good actually. The paints worked really well on that book. Too many colours though, really, and some of the colours I couldn't quite see what they were because they're so dark. That was another book with thicker paper, and that handles the wet washes a lot easier, a lot better rather. But you can see pretty good quality of colour and quite enjoyable to use outdoors. Hey, Basil. And then we went back into the studio to try them on the studio painting. Little sketch looking from the window. I've done that many times, as you can see there. And yeah, if you're interested in a book or any of the original studies, there's some available still on my website. So I didn't have any watercolour paper available, so I used this mount board. You cut the board around the watercolours or drawings to frame them. I used a few different types of brushes, some rounds, flats, and a rigger, and I wanted to try out that brush that came with the set. So this mount board is not ideal for watercolours, but it didn't buckle at all, which was great. So any paper I would have probably had to stretch unless it was particularly heavyweight. So here I'm just using the brush that came from the set. I've painted in the sky and St Agnes Beacon at the back there quite faintly, and this is that line of trees that run across where the A30 runs through Cornwall, and we can see that from the studio window. So that's what I'd like to place in quite soon, so I sort of get my bearings in the painting, if that makes sense. I'm just trying out different greens, yellow ochre, things like that, just to see how these colours work, how easy they are to mix and apply. And to be honest, they're pretty good. They're very strong though, but maybe slightly too strong. So you really have to water them down quite a lot when you first put them on, or otherwise they're so vibrant. They're probably too vibrant for my style of painting, to be honest. But good strength of colour. So I think maybe if I limited the colours down, took some of the ones out which I'm not really ever going to use, I'd probably have quite a nice sketching set there. Definitely need to be reordered though into reds, yellows, sort of greens and blues, rather than order that they come in. So that brush is probably a bit too small for some of these larger washes. There you can see how you can mix in that tray. Probably done with a slightly bigger brush for that, but I just wanted to use this brush that came with the set, give it a chance. And occasionally I like this flat brush for laying in some of these areas of colour. So that was probably like a hooker's green or something like that. So of course with the watercolours, which frustrates me a little bit, is having to wait for areas to dry. Otherwise it bleeds all over the place. And that's what frustrates me a bit with watercolour. It's a great medium for sketching, but and some people are, I mean, I'm not a watercolour painter, so I just tend to use it for sketching. There's the rigger. I decided to go back to the rigger for just some fine lines that are in the distance there, and the hedgerows separating the fields. So I'm sort of swapping between brushes depending on how much sort of paint I need to load onto the brush for what particular area I'm painting. So sometimes they see I'm using the flat brush, and I want it because I wanted some sort of flatter, broader marks. It holds enough sort of paint to make the marks that I want to make. There's some sort of autumny colours coming into the landscape now. So this is the beginning of October. So I wanted to just try and introduce those, and some darks here. And I was working upright on the easel. So maybe sometimes watercolours, it's probably easier, sort of more of a flatter way of working might work easier. So when you're working upright like this on the easel, obviously the gravity is pulling the water and the paint down, perhaps too much all the time. Sometimes that's what you want, but I would think to make it more controllable would probably be easier to use it flat or at a slight angle. Good fun though, I think it worked quite well. And that's the end of the brush, which has got that nice sort of nice angled shape to it, so you can scratch through the paint. There it is. I quite like that. And there's a Chinese white in there rather than a sort of titanium white, so you can make the paint more opaque. You can mix it with the watercolour. It sort of goes towards the gouache then. That's what Turner used to use a lot, was Chinese white mixed with watercolour, and to great effect obviously in his sketches. Just finished off now with a little bit of drawing on there. I used a graphite stick rather than that hard pencil that was supplied with the set. And just sort of not putting a bit of Chinese white in some places just to try it out really and see what sort of covering power it has, and the answer was not a lot. And that's the view from the studio window. Sort of end of the afternoon, looking towards St Agnes Beacon there on the 4th of October. And I think paints work quite well. That's the mount board. You can see the mount board texture coming through there. Yeah, it's not bad. I quite liked it actually. Maybe do some more of those. And there's me acting a clown. And the day after, we had such a nice morning with a very low tide at Gwythian. I thought, let's get over there and just try them out once more in the Cardi watercolour paper sketchbook there, and just do a quick sketch while I was there, and that was really good fun actually. But again, see some of those dark colours there. I had a job telling which ones were which. And there it is. That's what I did on the Cardi outdoors. So thanks for watching. Mei Liang watercolours. And all the best, and bye for now. Oh, by the way, there's a 20% discount available on this watercolour box on the Amazon Prime Day. So if you're interested in that, trying them out, that would be the time to buy them. Okay, thanks for watching, and bye for now.